This is episode 150 of the Wrestling Journal podcast, brought to you by WrestleBuzz and the WrestleBuzz Podcast Network. What's going on, everybody? YouTube? We're on YouTube right now, live. If you're listening, on
first time ever, right?
First time ever. It's Joey, Joseph, Crush. What's going on? I'm with the boys here. It's weird. This is a weird concept for us here. So first time, NJ3, the professional. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, I just got back from a beautiful time in the Bahamas. It was my post-WrestleMania vacation. You know, it's a long wrestling season, right? So Mania finished. I was on a plane the next morning at 8 o'clock, and I was just soaking in the sun, baby, like I do. Living that dope life like my boy Gurge.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Gurge Brooms. And look at this. He shows up for the right times when we need him, right?
Always.
Only when we need him. Nikki fucking Noodles. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Gentlemen. So nice to see you.
You too, I guess. And as always, the former Iron Man of the Wrestling Journal podcast. Bad news, Tom Canale. What's up, brother?
What's up? It's been a while. I hope I remember how to do this.
It's been a while since a
little rusty.
I can probably count how many times on four hands when the last time we all been together as a cohesive group. But before we get into the show, let's run through the social medias at WrestleBuzz on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, at WrestleBuzz with 3Gs on Twitter. You can follow, you can see right here under NJ3's tag at the Wrestling Journal podcast. I did mention this. We are part of the WrestleBuzz Podcast Network. We have two other podcasts you can check out: From the Top Rope with Gurge Rooms and Project Kayfabe with Joe and Quade. Great podcast there as well. To listen to those podcasts, if you're checking us out on YouTube for the first time, we are on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you download podcasts. If you listen to us on Apple or Spotify, please leave us that 5-star rating and review. And give us a follow, like, comment, subscribe if you're listening to us on YouTube. Before we get into the show, we have sponsors here. We do sponsors. The first one, we had a long week, a long weekend. NJ3 just came back from the Bahamas. There's probably a solid beverage you can drink to get over that WrestleMania hangover, as we're calling it today. NJ3, let the people know, bro.
Oh, listen, Nerd Focus. First of all, let me tell you guys, I actually packed some Nerd Focus. I actually just paid for the check bag, so I actually put a 6-pack of Nerd Focus in my check bag. Got me to the Bahamas. Great. I literally cracked one open every day. It was the way I started my day.
You use your own discount code too, right?
I mean, of course. Why would I pay full price either? I mean, listen, come on. I'm told you, Nick. There's this level of living, and there's this level of living. I'm up here.
You are no amateur, my friend.
That's right. Amateur. But Nerd Focus, that NG think drink for your mind, body, and soul. Nerd Focus gives you everything you need to be able to get through your days, your nights, your weekends, WrestleMania week, wrestling weeks, anything. All we do is ask you to go to our link tree in our social media bio. Use that link to shop Nerd Focus. Use the code ND20 at checkout. Get 20% off your entire order. Order 2 or more, and you get free shipping. Drink Nerd with us, baby.
Absolutely, man. Also, Paper Champion, thepaperchampion.com, fantasy wrestling done right.
It's a look of disappointment down there,
man.
Not for me.
Shout out! First of all, I gotta give my props to Eric James, the CEO of Paper Champion. You see him on the YouTube channel before. He does a lot of post shows with me after the pay-per-views. I basically, just put it this way, he was Roman and I was Cody this weekend. I had it. It was mine. It should have been mine.
Slip away.
And Solo Sikoa just came out of nowhere and fucking spiked me right in the neck. And that son of a bitch, Eric, took my third Paper Champion title away from me. So, listen, if you want to join Paper Champion Fantasy Wrestling, signups are available now. thepaperchampion.com. Let them know the boys at WrestleBuzz and the Wrestling Journal podcast sent you. Check it out. And again, always props to Eric James on that one. ProWrestlingTees.com/WrestleBuzz. Buy the shirt, wear the shirt, support the brand. Go check us out there. More shirts coming next year. Just kidding. All right, boys. WrestleMania is then and gone. We are currently recovering from that long week, that long weekend, and now the post week. Even we hit Raw after Mania, the SmackDown after Mania. I mean, we broke down the shows in the post show reviews. We got all that out there. Project Kayfabe, they kind of broke it down as well. NJ3, we left one of the bigger WrestleManias of all time in the past now. Where's your head at right now? We don't have to. We'll break down Raw and SmackDown. Like, where's your head at from just experiencing that 2-night event? Cody, Roman, KO, and Sammy. Where's your head at, man?
It's a marathon. I mean, I'm a little tired. I'm not gonna lie. Going Saturday and Sunday strong from pre-show into the main show for both nights, it was definitely a lot of wrestling, a lot of storylines to culminate. Of the 2 nights, Saturday was my favorite of the 2 nights. I just felt like the card just flowed a little bit better. I liked some of the payoffs in the card, the surprises and things like that. I thought the matches were better. It's been a lot. I feel like we have still so many questions. Where I usually like WrestleMania as like my finality, right? It's they use it as their beginning and end of wrestling season per se. And for me, I still feel like there was not that there was a little bit left, but there's a kind of a little bit left on the table. And I'm not just saying for the main event. There's other matches in there too, but I'm sure as we kind of have this discussion on the podcast tonight, we can kind of get into it. But all in all, it was a great weekend in wrestling. WrestleMania is always special. Yeah, it was a lot.
It was a lot, man. You know what? It's kind of corny, but like going into this one, like it just felt different. It felt bigger than what we've had in the past few years. Whether it was the pandemic or the main events that were lined up, but just watching the pre-shows to these certain days just had me like buzzing more than usual. Tom, I mean, a lot of things happened. A lot of things didn't happen. Did you have a good time? Was it overall good for you? A good experience for you this WrestleMania 39?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, both nights, when the main event with KO and Sammy being the Usos. I mean, that match was probably one of the best so far this year. That was awesome. And the main event night 2 with Cody and Roman. I mean, that was probably one of the better WrestleMania main events in a long time. When you think about it, that match was very good. But going back and forth, the emotion, with Cole going crazy on commentary, the crowd was hot, everyone was hot. It was very cool. And all the other match, I mean, I don't think there was really one really bad match. I mean, some were obviously better than others, but I mean, I was entertained the whole night, or from the opening bell to the closing. I thought it was very good. So definitely one of the better WrestleManias I thought in a long time. Maybe not everyone thought that with how the main event ended at night 2, but hey, it is what it is. Roman's on a crazy streak right now, historical streak. So we'll see how that all ends eventually. But I mean, that was for me. Mania was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of fun. Before we get into Nikki Noodles, Bobby coming in hot, almost sucks balls. I mean, that's a bold statement, but shout out to you, Bobby. He lost. You got F5s.
It was a big one. It was probably the biggest F5 of all time, right?
That was pretty
Maybe
cool.
Big Show, right? Big Show.
Yeah, I guess him and Big Show up there. Shout out to Bobby. Nikki Noodles, I thought it was. I mean, we know
Bobby caught me off guard, bro. To be honest.
But we know how you feel about the second night main event, and we know you were 6 to midnight at the end of the night. But did you enjoy the whole weekend? Did you think it was a top to bottom solid WrestleMania?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I think for the longest time, right, I think we've all gotten kind of used to WrestleMania being a very typical, predictable card. And this was one of the first times in a while that you went into almost every match thinking that there could have been an outcome could have went either way, which was kind of cool. And for some people, you didn't get your, glorified payoff and you're a little sour about it. But other than that, I really do want to give a shout out, though, to the announce team, Michael Cole and Corey Graves. Tremendous all weekend long, right? And it made every match feel extra special, a lot more emphatic. I thought it was a very, very strong weekend, and I look forward to the next go round here as we get into the new year.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. It was, I mean, overall, it was a great Mania. Where do I rank it? I don't know. I have to let it soak in still and kind of revisit a lot of the Manias.
It's so fresh. It's hard to pick which the best one when something hits you in the face right away.
Ironically, I did see Meltzer actually praise the shit out of it too. And I mean, I know we don't really rate his reviews here, but a couple of 5-star matches coming out of it, which is a shocker to me. But I mean, when it comes,
you couldn't deny those though.
So the fact that it came from him, it's just weird. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. And then the fact that he's praising it's still kind of crazy. Bobby has a lot of questions today. I don't want to upset Joey Crush, but where the fuck was Bray?
Yeah, good question.
That's a great question, Bobby.
Bobby's killing it right now.
Yeah. Bray, we don't know, and it's still a week after Mania, and he's still not there. I think and if you first time listening, I'm a large Bray Wyatt fan. I used to have a sign behind me, but my wife took it down because she had a work call the other day in the office, and it's not there. I just realized that. A nice little sign behind me, but
Oh, Halloween was left out.
yeah.
Interesting.
But you're a
You
dick.
might have to talk to her later about who
I
she
know.
prefers Michael Myers over Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird call, right? She left the fucking Michael Myers, but not Bray.
Jersey, you got me on that one, dude.
But I don't know. I honestly, at this point in time, I think I'm with Tom on this. Like, I think we kind of just like, we got to let it go at this point and hope for the best. But I mean, accept that he could never be back. And
It's a shame, but I think you have to get there.
And for the first time ever, I'm going to say this right here. I'm sick of talking about Bray Wyatt.
If you love something, you let it go.
Yeah.
A wise man once said that early in the week in the group chat.
He did. So before we get into the Raw After Mania SmackDown, I kind of want to just crack a beverage to the boys. Episode 150. It's been a hell of a ride so far. Love you, boys. But Raw After Mania, arguably, I mean, we could argue about this here, definitely. I thought it was stale as shit. And I think you could say that coming from a lot of people. There was definitely a sour taste off of Mania from Cody losing. And I wasn't one of those. I didn't have a sour taste in my mouth, but we get to the Raw After Mania, and you expect, especially under the regime now, the new regime, even though we don't really know what the actual regime is with Vince being back. I don't know. I don't know what happened. And we got a couple of things. I'd say you could argue Cody and Brock was a thing. Definitely. It is a thing. And then Riddle returning. I think those two things stuck out to me on the Raw After Mania. On top of Triple H coming out and kind of acknowledging, which we can get into as well, the sale of WWE and the merger with UFC. So, Andrew Theory, I kind of want to go to you on this one. I mean, Brock and Cody is a big thing. You can settle if you want to talk about that. You can. Riddle being back is a big thing. Triple H. I honestly saw Triple H coming out as like kind of joked about it as like a cry for help, like save me and like help me because we don't know what Vince is doing. Why does Vince look like he does now? They sold to.
That's probably the most important question coming out of this.
I don't use that, but
yeah, don't deflect, Nicholas.
Yeah, really.
NJ3, what were your thoughts on the Raw After Mania? And I mean, or lack thereof, I should say.
So, it's like when you finish Mania, right? Okay. Again, you can argue one way or another if you're for Cody winning or against Cody winning and Roman retaining, whatever you want to say your reason is. Me personally, I'm on the side. I think Cody should have won. There is no one who has 1,000-day streak, right? Usually it's above 1,000 days. So it's like 1,000 days is a nice number. It's t-shirts, right? So in my opinion, it's like, okay, great if he gets it, but I thought the storyline was there anyway. So going into Monday after Mania, it's that fresh new start. It's the new season, right? Everyone's at 0-0, right? Just like a new sports season. But we had the continuation of the Roman Cody story, right? So it's almost like we still left things undone. And for me, I don't like that feeling. I like to kind of go into it fresh and like new and exciting. And we have the draft going to come up, so it's like who could be potential challengers. And seeing how Jay White signed to AEW. Maybe Jay White could have been the first challenger to Cody, right? How that would have been an awesome, cool thing. Like, what a way to debut in WWE and your first feud to be with the champ. Like, that's kind of giving confidence. Like, I kind of went in there with that hope and mentality. Now, when we wake up Monday morning or in the middle of the night, we're kind of hearing all the things about WWE selling, and it kind of became official. Nick Khan's on CNN or one of the networks, and pretty much says, like, hey, listen, Vince still pulls all the strings, right? Everything we've been afraid of as diehard wrestling fans, that Vince is still pulling the strings somehow, some way. So you're going into Monday Night Raw with this weird cloud that they just got sold. So what does this actually mean? All right, so let's send out the White Knight. Let's send out Triple H, right? Who's beloved more by the fans than Triple H. He gave us what NXT was. He gave us what his career was. And he gave us arguably probably one of the better years in wrestling from SummerSlam to now than we've had in the last 10 years. So it's like that's the right guy to send out. But then as the night went on, the show didn't feel like the Raw after WrestleMania. It felt like a mishmash of a wrestling show. I was texting the group chat, why do we have Bianca and Rhea just have that little weird interaction?
Yeah, weird.
Like no
We didn't for-
reforecast
we
something for
didn't-
a
we
year
didn't-
later. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but we didn't forget it, right? We knew that we were supposed to get
Yeah.
Bianca Rhea, and we knew that it was going to happen. We knew that Rhea got hurt, so she couldn't have the match. And then as kind of Rhea built her momentum, Bianca was still doing her thing. It's like, okay, this payoff is at WrestleMania 40. We don't need this now. Don't tease that now. Give us someone special to go up against Bianca, right? Bianca's run through everybody. She just beat Asuka. Who's next for Bianca? So you give us a tease to something that's going to happen maybe later. And then you give us the new number one contenders for the women's tag team title match. We know that the girls are gonna have to drop it. We know it has to happen. Lita's not a full-time wrestler, but why not give us the feud of what Bianca's gonna be next? We get 0 debuts, 0. Now it can argue none of the guys in NXT are ready. Fine, but there's plenty of women ready, and that's what kind of bugged me. There's plenty of the girls ready down in NXT that could have came up. Cora Jade, number one person comes to my mind. She should have came out. Boom! What a way to kind of drop that mic. I'm your next challenger, Bianca. Blah 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 blah. Whatever you want to do. And then it just kind of ran through the whole show of predicting a main event that never took place. Like we're gonna do that with Raw after Mania. You should have had the main event, and then have Brock turn after Cody. Do it after the match.
That definitely bothered me a little bit too. Like right out the gate. Like I stayed up to watch that. You know, I was kind of excited.
Why wouldn't you? They you know, that through the whole show, every commercial break, biggest main event in Raw potentially ever. Roman hasn't wrestled on Raw. Brock hasn't wrestled on Raw. It's like, holy shit, can we get this? You don't have to have a winner or loser, right? Yeah. You can have the match. You can have a disqualification. Get someone DQ'd. What happened?
Project Kayfabe, shout out to Joe. NJ3 should have booked Raw after Mania. I mean, I don't want to go that far, but no, I'm just kidding.
I mean, listen, I would have definitely outbooked Vince McMahon. Don't even put that on that one. Maybe not the whole year, but I can book Mania, Raw after Mania a little bit better.
I want to go back to the Bianca stuff because from what I heard or read, whatever you want to call it, there was apparently 2 triple threat matches with the women that were supposed to happen to determine a match to figure out who the number one contender was. Like those were set up. And the tag team match we got 2 losers from the match the night before. We didn't get Ronda. We didn't even get Ronda and Shayna. They won the fucking showcase match.
Which should be the number one contenders.
Should be. And nothing against who was it, Raquel and Liv?
Yeah, wonderful, great.
Sure, but like, I mean, I'm done with that stuff, man. I don't know, but like the fact that we got that, like, and we were supposed to get other things, it showed it, like that was the worrisome coming out of the sale, seeing that interview with Vince and the other guy, and showing like basically saying how like Vince is fully involved. It's worrisome.
Yeah.
Colin wants to know, what are your thoughts on the Rollins segment?
Very strange.
It was very odd.
Another very really crazy one. Great call out.
So if you missed that, I mean, he came out and just let the crowd sing to his music, and that was it.
That was cool for a hot minute, but then nothing else happened.
Yeah, but if you would have known, go ahead, Joe. You know what I'm.
Yeah, if you saw, there's videos online of people in the crowd that are like watching, like during the break when they came back from commercial. During the break, like production came up to Seth and like said, like looked like basically you have to cut the segment or something happened, and he was all pissed off.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
What does that mean? Like, all right, we know Vince changes things on the fly, like in the back. But this is like mid-segment. He's going out there and he's changing stuff. Like, what?
To your most important, one of your most important wrestlers. This is a little bit tough one.
I'd love to see that defense there, Nicholas.
Yeah. Listen, I can't defend all of it, but there are certain things though where it's like you don't know what a new company wants to be done too, especially when it comes to star power guys like Brock Lesnar and stuff like that. So
you don't roll out everything day one. You know what I mean? You kind of
I'm not disagreeing.
That's kind of how mergers usually go.
And I wasn't expecting, like, obviously the questions you have, like, after Mania, it's like, what's next for this guy? What's next for that guy? So one of my main things is, like, what's next for Seth? And, like, now we still don't know. And it's like, what?
Well, we got some answers, at least last night with the impeding draft. Maybe they didn't want to get into too many things with the draft on the horizon if that was part of the plan.
So we just get like random matches for 3 weeks now. Like
listen, no, I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm just saying, I mean, that's got to have something to do with it. I would think.
I'm not gonna like it. It's gonna be horrible. I mean, I'll say this: SmackDown, was definitely better. It definitely picked up. It picked up significantly from what Raw was. At least gave you a little bit of confidence back. But dude, so many moments just kind of left. The pacing of the show wasn't clear and concise at all. Like you were watching it, it's almost like it was a mishmash of just trying to put little things in to fill segments. Like, after Mania.
It seemed like they put so much emphasis on the build to Mania and then ran out of steam. Like it was just like, all right, they blew their load at Mania pretty much. Once Sunday's bell rang, it was it.
Listen, when you're a geriatric fuck, I guess you blow your load quick.
Or you don't get, you don't take Blue Chew and you don't get, to that moment. But I guess like the big difference was like from Raw to SmackDown is apparently Vince wasn't even at SmackDown. So there's the reason, right? You think? But like even just hopping on this, like Triple H announcing the draft. Like, what does this mean? Like he said it's going to change the game. Like, are they doing a different style of draft? Is this where they're going to – I saw someone write on Twitter today, like, maybe they treat this draft as, like, the Raw After Mania with, like, all the debuts and, like, the NXT call-ups. That they were saving it for that. I guess that can be, like, a cop-out, but you can still have people show up. Doesn't mean you can't have people show up.
No, I agreed, and it could be one of their ways.
Just one, yeah.
Split the titles too. On top of it,
who knows what's going to happen there? Bobby, not sure if this was spoken about Charlotte and Ripley, but there was a few spots that were a little nerve wracking. No,
yeah, definitely.
Going back to Mania for sure. I mean, one, she landed right in her fucking face.
I don't know. Yeah, that was rough.
That was brutal. It's funny. The wife actually came home because she was out with having dinner, and that was the match I was on with Charlotte Rhea, and she's like, I can't take my eyes off the screen. Like, this is brutal, but like she was into it, and she's like, damn. She's like, is Charlotte okay? I'm like, no. There's some spots like that was real. Like some of those bumps were legit real.
Yeah.
That was rough.
The suplex off the ropes, dude, was like wild.
Yeah, yeah, that was brutal.
If that goes wrong, you're talking about a real bad situation there. But Rhea is the real deal, though. So if there's anyone you can trust, I think, she's pretty damn strong.
No, I mean, trust for sure. But, man, some of those bumps were brutal.
Yeah. It was a great match, though.
It was
top notch.
I wanted to ask you guys, do you put it in the same category as Bayley Sasha NXT main event? Is it in that category? It was damn fucking good.
Joe, you want to take this one first?
I mean, if I was there, I'd probably say yes. I wasn't there. I was there for Bayley and Sasha, so that's
being
why
there is different, and it was the first one, right? So it's
it was magical for sure. Like they had some serious, like, and we knew what they can do. It's Charlotte and Rhea, like two of the best, but I'd still hold Sasha and Bayley a little, just like a notch higher, man.
Yeah. It was pretty close, pretty on par.
Bobby says Flair was coming off a bender from that.
Honestly, she does look a little off.
She's rusty. She don't wrestle that often anymore.
Not even about rusty. Like she just looks like, if you look at her face, she looks like drawn. Like she's not there.
There were so many horrible comments about her, man, on social media. Even maybe I could even say from my wife as well. When she was seen at the Hall of Fame ceremony, just a lot of people out there. Damn, man. This girl can't catch a break.
Just a lot of surgeries, man. A lot of surgeries. Sometimes they don't work out.
She does look very disinterested at times. I'll tell you that.
I don't think she does. Bobby, I don't think she does drugs. I don't know. We'll see. She does hang out with Andrade a little bit.
Yeah, but it's not Alberto though. Different guy.
Yes, you're right. NXT. Let's even talk about NXT, bro. I mean, Braun Breaker heel turn. I'm down with it. Right?
That was
Makes
cool.
sense.
I think he needed it in the worst way, to be honest.
I thought for sure he was gonna pop up. Like after losing the title at Stand and Deliver, I thought for sure he would have showed up on Raw or something. It looks like they're gonna still roll with that down in NXT, Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Tom, any takeaways from NXT this week and from Stand and Deliver? Any thoughts?
I mean, main event, obviously was good. Him and Carmelo. That was, it was Carmelo's time. It was good to see him with the championship now. And then, like you said, that was very surprising him turning heel. So, like we said, that he desperately needed it. So maybe there's a little more seasoning down there, and then eventually gets brought up and everything. But that was a good show overall. I enjoyed NXT from when I couldn't see it live. I watched it afterwards, and it was a very good show. So definitely happy with the results of it.
Shout out to Indy.
Yes,
by the way.
I was going to
well deserved.
That was cool.
Well, that was a great moment with Dexter. By the way,
that was so
fantastic.
cool, and that was really cool.
NJ3, you're my NXT guy, kind of like
the innovator.
Wednesday. I'm not gonna lie, I love Indy, right? My girl.
Yeah.
But her and who's the shit?
Tiffany Stratton.
No, who came out and challenged her?
Or Jade.
No, was it Cora Jade? No, it was someone else. I thought someone else came out.
Zoe Stark.
Zoe Stark. Yeah, that just felt like kind of flat to me, man. I don't know. I didn't get like a good like vibe from that. Like
I feel
them
like
two being the.
Yeah, it's tough, man. One thing about Indy is just that her mic skills aren't strong, right?
Mhm.
And Zoe's kind of still kind of I think adjusting to being a heel. So I think it was a way to kind of make Indy look a little bit more of a stronger champion, right? Because she won a ladder match. She didn't
Yeah.
pin anybody to win it. She
Yeah.
just got to the title, and Dexter obviously climbed, helped her get up there. Obviously it's for the moment, not for the reality. But I think that Zoe's a fantastic wrestler, and what way to kind
Awesome.
of give your new champion a decisive win the first show after your pay-per-view. So I thought it was the right move, and you didn't want to give her someone like a Cora Jade. You didn't want to give her a Tiffany Stratton just yet. You didn't want to give her a Roxanne Perez just yet. You want to kind of hold off on those feuds.
Mhm.
Zoe's like a fantastic wrestler.
Yeah.
She's still working with her mics, her mic situation. I think eventually she'll get a little more comfortable, but I thought it was the right opponent for the right time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I think it's incredible.
Were you guys concerned with a possible Zack Ryder type of a title run there the next night with Indy, like as staying power?
Yes.
she's been the
Zack-
longest reigning. I mean,
Zack
the
Ryder?
longest tenured. No, Zack, when he won the title and then the next night he dropped it right away.
Oh,
You know,
oh,
that's
just
what I
an
meant by that.
example.
Yeah, as an example.
Yeah.
Just because
Actually-
I love Indy and she's been there obviously the longest. I just wasn't expecting her to win, and I don't know how long they're going to push that out because she never really got her due up until now. Not even a glimmer of anything like this.
I did honestly when I saw her win, I was definitely shocked. I mean, I was happy for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I did one of the things that came to mind was when Zach won the IC title of WrestleMania.
Right. It was
like,
very parallel.
You and Nick on the same page.
Come on,
Wow.
man.
rare.
It's rare, but it does happen.
It's rare, never. Once in a legit blue moon.
It was a weird crossroad there.
It was. Don't let it ever happen again. Joe from Project Kayfabe. Apparently, she's getting ready for a bodybuilding competition. That's Charlotte, so that's why
Charlotte,
she looks
yeah.
maybe a little.
Ah,
yeah.
okay. All right. Well, I mean that makes
it's not
sense.
cocaine, guys. It's not cocaine. She's actually doing something positive in her life.
She'll be
girl
fine in
bodybuilding.
bodybuilding too. She'll be fine in that. Charlotte's.
Yes.
I guess it'll
she's
be like a good
ridiculous.
break from in ring
beat down to the body for sure.
Yeah, because she had a nice little run. I mean, she took the title off Ronda, which I think was the right move to do personally.
Yes.
And then she held it till Mania, and she had an absolute banger of a match with Rhea. Rhea looks fantastic as the new champion. I mean, good for her. That's awesome that she's doing that. So she'll take some time off, I guess.
The greatest female wrestler of all time. It's not even debatable.
I was just gonna say that. I'm cutting you out here. Dude.
Yeah, can you mute him with some decent points?
I'll leave
Weird.
if you guys really want.
Well, if you're offering.
Real quick off topic. Speaking of bodybuilding, Jordan Grace did her competition recently. I don't know if you guys
Holy
follow on social media.
shit!
That is like I know she said
What about
she
a
was,
transformation?
Yeah, I
I
know
thought
she
she was
said
gorgeous,
7%
but,
body
holy
fat. She looked
crap.
zero. All I saw was muscle and skin, dude. I didn't see any. I don't know where the fat's coming from, but Jesus Christ, she is shredded, dude. She'd be fun to see on like a big,
Bigger promotion.
whether it's AEW or WWE. I'm not gonna say
Oh, hell
WWE
yeah.
straight up, but like she needs to get. I mean, I'm sure she loves it there in Impact, but I want to see her get like exposed, man, like exposure. I don't know. Before we end WWE, quick, Riddle helped out Sammy last night with Solo. It seemed like I was actually like really hoping that would happen. That made sense to me, like that Riddle came out and helped out Sammy on SmackDown because Solo's the one that put him out.
Yeah.
It definitely ties for sure.
Yeah, and I think it just adds to the story to continue going forward. I mean, this story is not going to end for.
I feel like it's never going to end. I feel like
Yeah.
they find new ways to keep it going.
And of course, you got those comments online. This is dragging forever. Just turn the fucking TV off, people. What do we want here? I don't know. What else.
Every time you get a glimmer of some type of emphatic exclamation point, it's always something special. Every time that they do it, every turn of the corner, it's always something magnificent.
Bobby wants to know our thoughts on Solo. Tom, I'll go to you on this one. What have your thoughts been on Solo so far?
Oh, I think he's been great. I mean, he's definitely filling his role perfectly. The enforcer, obviously helping Roman out as we saw it on Sunday and everything, but he's been really good. He's like the modern day Umaga. I mean, just look at with the Samoan spike and everything. I mean, he's been awesome. I mean, I was so happy when they brought him into the bloodline. I thought it was perfect at that time, and he's just been great ever since. So I mean, he took his first loss, a couple weeks ago to Cody, but I think he's still going to be going strong. And it looks like he might just be him and Roman as, we might, as the future wears on and everything. And the Usos, we'll see what happens with that, but he's been great.
Yeah, it's interesting where they're going to go with that because, I mean, he's a brother of the Usos. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I think he's been doing fantastic. I think he's like one of the more believable like heels on the program. He's looks like a monster, dude. He just he showcased himself so well. I think he does everything. Like I've rarely seen him mess up. And like, granted, he doesn't do anything super crazy, but like that's like when you find someone like that, you just don't over like expose them and you get like positive out of that. Like
he's still pretty raw, right? At the end of the day, he's pretty young. You know what I mean? As far as doing all this too, the spike is legit too.
Yeah. Bobby coming in 5'9", blonde dyed tips enforcer. Bobby's on a roll tonight, man. Who is
he? Really is.
Love it. I don't think. I mean, the blonde hair is whatever, right? It doesn't really affect.
Listen, in the biggest match that they've had in years, he was the guy who got right in the middle of it and ended it. So it's pretty impressive.
Has he been involved in every Roman title since he came up with Drew?
I believe so. Yeah.
I mean, from Drew on, yeah, I'd assume he's had some part to play in all of them.
Yeah, remember he was sent by the elders. I thought he was going to play a part eventually with like The Rock or something, but I don't know where we're going for that. I'm not gonna read what he wrote here.
Every time I see Joey smile, I know something hot just came in.
Before we move on to AEW, any last thoughts on the WrestleMania week and the post week NJ3? Did we skip anything that really stuck out to you? I mean, the draft is a big deal. It's coming up. Is it going to be presented differently on the network? I'd love to see like an actual like a draft special, not just like throughout Raw or SmackDown.
Very cool, yeah.
I know it's going to veer away from ratings, so I get why they wouldn't, or even do like a draft special on like one night. Night one is on Raw, but just strictly do like just the draft. I don't need to see matches. But
well, I mean that's 3 hours of draft. That might be a little tough, but
true. Or maybe like the first hour is the draft, the last two is an actual Raw. Or do something like make it like cooler. I don't know, man. Like give me a little something extra. He said it was going to be different, more different than ever this year. Maybe that's just the extremity of like who's going to get drafted where. But any early predictions for like what you want to see maybe for the draft or not?
I mean, if he's thinking about doing something very different, I'm curious if NXT is going to play a part in this whole draft. Like, can we draft a couple of main roster guys down to NXT or main roster girls down to NXT? Because we've noticed that that's kind of paid off in good dividends. Like Apollo Crews kind of almost reinvented himself again down there. Mandy Rose, I mean, forget about it. I know she's not with the company anymore, but I mean, dude, arguably one of the biggest pillars down there to get from that 2.0 era to what this current NXT is because of her. I mean, from the women's division, I mean, Toxic Attraction, forget about it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping personally NXT plays a part in this in some form or fashion. Now I understand they may not get as many, like say, draft picks, but let them be able to make some moves. What a way to keep one of your main roster shows, but either one of your TV shows a little relevant. Get the draft going with them. Have someone show up on there that's a little bit maybe not being used in one of those shows.
Every time they sent the main roster guy down there to feud with an NXT person, it was always pretty damn good. And when Dolph went down there for a little bit, Finn, it was great.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to get like too technical because like this is, I mean, let's go past like reality. It's pro wrestling, but like in that case, like first pick goes Roman, second Seth, thirds Brock to NXT. Like that would be like you can't like how do you get around like why would you can technically like call out NXT for not drafting the top guy? You know what I'm saying? Like why wouldn't they?
Well, I think NXT could be used in the whole they're still their development area, right? I don't want to call them AAA or the minors. I think that's a little bit disrespectful to what they've been putting on more recently. But I would say like they're more of like they want to grab someone like, again, I'm just gonna say it's just random Ricochet. I know he's main roster, not going anywhere, but they say Ricochet, right? We want to get him back because of just the dream matches. Like he run a program with Carmelo Hayes again. Like, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. I think if they kind of use that mentality, Shawn Michaels wants like the younger guys, the guys that aren't utilized in the main roster, not the Brock Lesnar's, right? Yeah. As a coach, as a GM, that's kind of, you draft to your team's fit. Maybe they kind of use that mentality in it. But again, just, something I'd hope to see. I think it'd be kind of, pretty good.
No, I think it'd be cool. All right. All Elite Wrestling, the Wednesday night, phenomenon.
We really have to do this.
We're doing it. It's part of the show, brother. This one was interesting. I thought this was actually better than Raw. I think it was like Tony took advantage of like the lack of Raw and like kind of made it like, will he do this every year? Like give us a Dynamite After Mania type show where we get a big debut. the FTR situation and like a big announcement. And Nikki News, I'm surprisingly going to go to you first on this.
Why are you going to do that to yourself?
You have a different opinion. Why? NJ3.
I'm saying no. He'll make himself sound silly. So please go to him first. Let him try to. Yeah, please. I'd love to hear this.
Ridiculous.
Yes, you are.
Jay White after being speculated to sign with WWE for the past couple of months. Nothing was ever confirmed, but that was like what people thought.
Yeah, he was definitely in the rumor mill for sure.
Yeah, he was definitely talking to both sides. And he debuts on Dynamite, and he goes to help out his homie Juice Robinson, and takes out Ricky Starks. Now, you have an opinion on this. Let's hear it.
I mean, obviously it's a big signing. There's no question about that. But how that signing was parlayed on the opening segment of Dynamite was putrid, in my personal opinion. Jers, you got anything you want to add to that?
No, I mean, I'll piggyback on that. I thought the moment could have been done differently.
It has to be. When you make a big signing like that, right? When you make a big signing like that, someone that you knew your rival company was trying to get this guy involved as well. For you to have him and then kind of debut in that magnitude was a little weak, especially since he's already been there before. But you got to make more of an emphatic statement with a signing like that. That was just piss poor.
I mean, it would have been great to just see the match actually take place and then have Jay White come down after the match, or somehow, like get involved.
You need the music. You need the works.
Down threw me off. You need Quad A in it. Yes. Oh my God. that would be the episode.
Joe says need the Quad A and Nikki Newell's AEW hate podcast. We can set that up.
I'm ready. I'll bring the oatmeal cookies. Don't worry.
Check out Project Kayfabe for the insight on that one. Yeah, I mean, listen, was it like a spectacular debut? I think with the hype around him going to WWE, I think they could have definitely done it better. But
they had to, in my personal opinion. Yeah. They dropped the ball with that. That's all. And they do that often. They fumble a lot.
And listen, man, like, as I like both products. I'm a WWE guy first. I'll admit that wholeheartedly. I wanted to see him in WWE, man. I did.
Yeah,
I thought there was potential for him to like, no matter what, like, we know we can get out of Jay White in AEW. We've seen him there multiple times. It's the same style as where he's been before. I want to see the change of him in a WWE product.
Work with Rollins.
Preferably
with AJ Styles, right?
Preferably with Triple H ran.
Mm-hmm.
And because listen, if Vince is there, we know what could happen. But I think with, like, you just mentioned names, AJ Styles, man, Cody's there, Finn Balor's there, all past Bullet Club members and leaders. There's more than just like
there's history there, big history.
Yeah, there's history, like, and they've never touched before, and like, or if they touched, it'd be one off. But like, there were stories that I wanted to see being told there. We can still get stuff out of this. Clearly, they're going the Bullet Club route with him and Juice on AEW, so we'll still see stuff there. Kenny, I'm sure, will get involved. Adam Cole has a past. There's stuff we can see there, but it's like, I know what we can get over there. I was like, I'm always interested to see these types of guys that come out from the outside to see how they can last, or if what they can be, how they can be handled in WWE. So that's all.
Big leagues. Yeah. Major leagues. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not that I'm disappointed. I'm just like, okay, it's cool, but I would have liked to see him in WWE for sure. FTR came into that night on Wednesday. Either they win the tag team titles or they leave. And another, speculation going into this Wednesday was, where's FTR going? They were hot. I mean, they're potentially free agents there during April, and now they won the tag team titles and they're staying in AEW. We know that. Tommy, were we shocked? I mean, I think the lead up to it was all right, but I think after hearing what he said afterwards, I've seen on Twitter, like, Dax was like, it was more like the schedule was leaning, that's what he was leaning towards with his family and being home with his family, and clearly the WWE schedule wasn't good enough for him. And he wants to respect wrestling. I think that's what he said. Your thoughts on FTR staying with AEW?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I would have liked him to come back to WWE, especially if Triple H is running things. I mean, that's remained to be seen. So I would have brought him back to the NXT days and everything. But I mean, it just that was a good match. I mean, having win the titles again was awesome to see. I mean, those guys just tag team wrestling. You look it up and you see those two guys,
Yeah.
man. It's so good. I mean, I'm happy. They're happy where they are right now, but it would have been better for WWE. That's just my personal opinion. With Triple H running things, but hey, they can do their thing down there, and like they said, respect tag team wrestling. Good on them, and work out for their families and stuff. But it was, I mean, very, very good, very good. It was the main event and everything, and close out. It's just so good to see, and wish them the best.
Yeah, it was good. It was definitely a good moment. Colin comes in. The Guns intro with Many Men was lit. It was lit. Ass Boys, Joe says, Ass Boys coming out to 50 Cent was the coolest thing that night. Very cool entrance for a joke tag team. And you know what? Honestly,
very true.
After seeing this, and like, I'll be the first to admit, I'll eat my humble pie. I was never an Ass Boys, a Gun Club.
You were never an ass boy?
No, I was never an ass boy. Actually, like, I was like, why are they getting pushed like this right now? Like, what the hell? But like watching them and like seeing, like, they're kind of good, man. They were pretty good, and they've kind of grown on me a lot. So, and after that entrance, that was sick. The fact that Tony shelled out the money for a 50 Cent song,
that's crazy.
That was cool, man.
He's got a lot of loot.
Hey man, listen, spend the money to do something for like the fans and for that. That's how he is able to distinguish himself from WWE, is do these things for the wrestlers, show you're a guy for the wrestlers. And yes, we can argue that he does a lot of terrible creative, but like a moment like that is nice. Like you appreciate that. He did that with Jungle Boy. He did that with Orange Cassidy. Like it's nice to kind of see these things.
He has to hit something every once in a while. He gets a hit.
Listen, man, it's okay.
It all starts
with a single.
300. Yeah.
Think so? I don't know.
3 out of 10? Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. Joe hit this. Let's go back to Jay White a little bit. Joe had a good comment. It felt like AEW wanted to show off everyone, especially WWE. Look, we have Jay White, and you didn't. The way they just threw him on TV, and I think that's a valid point, man. And they kind of just threw him on there and said, like,
it's kind of like the best description you could have actually asked, right there.
Yeah,
what that was.
So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see how a lot of speculation how you get new guys, new hot guys like this just to be brought in and how they get treated like long term.
How's Keith Lee doing?
He's fighting Jericho next week.
Yeah,
that's a big one. That's a big one.
I was waiting for that because I was definitely worried about how he was getting handled, but I mean, a match versus Jericho is a big deal. So
you were hoping help.
Yeah. Even no matter how old Jericho gets, it still carries water.
Yeah. And then a big announcement from Tony Khan. We get these a lot now, huge announcements, right? And a lot of people didn't know what the hell it was going to be. A lot of speculation, this being one of them. They're going to UK. And All In is coming back and going to the UK in Wembley Stadium.
80,000
yeah.
seats.
That's pretty cool. I mean, it's not going to be filled to capacity, but it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. Let's be honest, it's not.
It's not. But I just love it. It's always his first little dig. He just has to. He just constantly just has to try to drop stuff in there. It's great, but they won't fill the seats. But it's nice.
I don't think WWE sold out so far.
I don't. I mean, they sold a lot of tickets, but
they sold a lot of tickets. Out. Yeah. So
if it was one night, it would have been for sure.
Yeah.
You're asking a lot for 2 days.
I think the whole thing is with All In is that it's a week before All Out, which is wild, which is in Chicago.
Timing's a little tough, right?
Yeah, it's a lot for fans, especially people that aren't going to the shows, trying to shell out $60 a night. Who knows what we're gonna get out of this? If we're gonna get like a 2-for-1 deal. NJ3, I just want to go to you on this. I mean, it's a big deal going to the UK. Huge. It's a big deal having a show in Wembley Stadium. It's also a big deal having 2 pay-per-views in a week.
Yeah.
What was your takeaway from this?
I mean, the first thing was how they're going to pull this off. And I just thought of WrestleMania night 1 and night 2. I figured, like, if they're going to book both shows, like, if you're going to Wembley, you have to put on, like, you got to make sure
that's got to be your biggest show ever.
You got to have, you got to have everybody. Jay White's got to wrestle. Adam Cole's got to wrestle. You got to have someone, even a surprise person, come over. Do like an open the forbidden door for like 1 or 2 people. Like, you have to make sure that's like a legit show. I think you can't blow your load in one show because you have something coming the following week. So again, I think they treat it like WrestleMania night 1 and night 2. Have on your whiteboard, your matches, and make sure that they don't cut. Don't have Dynamites and Rampages be throwaways leading up into it, and make sure the lead up into both of these shows is treated with like the importance it needs to be treated if you want it to be taken seriously. And that's my thought. Again, I just came back from vacation. I didn't get to watch all of Dynamite straight through. They're on the weekends. The Wembley show is on a weekend, and then All Out's on a weekend. Okay, yes. It's not like it's a Wednesday. It's not like we're in for free TV. It's legit. Like
it's a legit pay-per-view. Yeah. And it's cool they're
That's
bringing
gonna
back
be
they're bringing back Olin. We haven't seen Olin since before AEW started because they didn't have. I correct me if I'm wrong if you know this, but I believe All In was owned by Ring of Honor, the name. So now that Tony owns Ring of Honor, he could use the name All In because that was the first pay-per-view. That's what started AEW. Basically, it was Meltzer saying the Bucks or like an independent show or whatever couldn't sell out 10,000 a 10,000 seat arena, and Cody was like, bet, and he said okay, and they did it, and that's where it came from. And then I think it was cool because during the announcement, first of all, Nigel McGuinness got brought in. I totally forgot to mention that. That's a huge get for them.
What a get!
What timing! And so the announcement was made next to Tony, and him were next to each other, and then Adam Cole eventually came in too. But when Tony was announcing, he had mentioned like the start of AEW was basically any named like Cody, the Bucks, and Kenny. So it's pretty cool to even like still give Cody his flowers, which is cool.
Should always,
because I don't think another guy would do that on the other show, Nick. I don't think he
definitely
would.
not. Hopefully he gets flowers in another way.
Yeah,
You're a bad guy. Bad guy.
6 feet under.
That's right. How am I a bad guy? You say the same shit.
Pay no respect. I never wish death upon another human being.
I didn't wish death. I said hope he gets flowers one day. You use your imagination for whatever you want.
Oh my goodness.
And if that's where your mind goes, I'm sorry. That's where your mind goes. I didn't say those words.
Terrible. You're sugarcoating it. Sugarcoating it.
You need a lot of sugar to be able to get that pill down.
Ooh, I like this take. Colin Gonzalez says Drew McIntyre will be with them by the time they're in Wembley. It's a good call because there is an expiring contract coming from Drew up. I think it was 9 months or something like that.
Yeah. And he got pulled from SmackDown last night.
He did get pulled from SmackDown. I think someone said it's like 8 months away though. So do the math. That's not all in, but who knows? Maybe that would be something. Dude.
Yeah, that would be a salvo shot right there.
That would be. NJ3 always with the fresh comments years later. So shout out to Chris. What's up, Chris?
Oh man.
Man,
fellow Packers fan too, right?
Oh boy,
I didn't say fellow Packers fan. Talking about JD.
He's a Packers fan. That's what
he's
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I'm just saying.
Said the word fellow.
Well, because we don't. There's not many of them that exist in these parts of the globe.
Oh wow! Look, you're going right for content.
No. I'm just saying we don't know too many Packers fans.
Where do you guys think Rodgers is? I'm just kidding. We're not going there. Jade still has her streak. She beat Billy Stark on Rampage or the Battle of the Belts last night, so she's still kicking.
How many matches is she undefeated at?
50 something.
It's like a real streak, not like where they counted by 10 after every Goldberg win there in the 90s. Yeah,
I think they're just going like.
It should take on you by Goldberg. You're a Goldberg guy.
You are a Goldberg guy.
Who isn't? Except you guys.
We're all Jordan Love fans now. Yeah, listen. Jordan Love looked good in that game. I mean, I guess we got to unleash him at some point. You did draft him.
Real quick, I want to go back to the All In show. Do we see a Goldberg or CM Punk appearance to get there?
Ooh.
Anybody?
I don't know.
I mean, that's tough, man.
Are they needed to help sell tickets?
So. No.
I think.
Dude, I feel like. I mean, sure, it would help, but it's almost like a smack in the face of some of your guys on the show. Like, I mean, whether the dust is settled or not. I mean, you think about how he treated some of the people who helped create the company or get the company off the ground. I don't think so, man. I think there's enough talent in that locker room. If you book them appropriately and properly, you can absolutely put on a fantastic show. It's both 2 weeks in a row, honestly.
You wear glasses, yours?
Yeah, wear glasses. Yeah, I do.
Well, you probably need a new set if you think there's a lot of talent in that locker room.
Really? You want to get the AEW roster up? Pull the roster up. It was a decent. It was a decent joke. It was decent. It was
that's
good.
all I want.
It was good. Went over my head and got me.
You're usually spot on. You're usually ready to go on those.
I am right. I was watching. They got the post game of the Yankees just won in the background for a quick second, so it caught my eye for a second.
They're home.
Look at their way. They're in Baltimore. They just won. Look at the AEW roster, man. Look at some of the names on that roster. You're telling me with those talented wrestlers, just pair some of them up a little bit and give a decent storyline. You'll get a good match. How can you argue that?
I'm just waiting for. I'm just waiting for a decent storyline.
eventually they'll fall into one or two here and there.
And
But
yeah,
the match will still be good.
But remember, selling 50,000 tickets in Wembley though. That's what I'm asking. Like, is what they have
not
enough to
enough
get there?
to do that. No, I don't personally don't think so. I'm not trying to be a dick.
Yeah, no, I think I'm with you too.
But I don't think CM Punk's gonna really flip a fucking shit ton of tickets these days anymore either, though.
Yeah, but
not to the magnitude that you might think that he is, but
no. But I think if your main event for Wembley is Kenny Omega versus CM Punk, you're gonna get something out of that, a bigger chunk than you would,
especially considering the way things kind of ended with him the last time around. So yeah, I guess that might help.
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Maybe Bray Wyatt will show up.
See what he does? He wants to come for everybody.
What's up, JoJo?
just a bad guy you are.
Colin says CM Punk is no almost. Yeah, if you want to sell tickets, you get almost on that screen. Let's be honest. Almost versus Satnam Singh. Is that his name?
Oh my God, 1 in a billion. That guy's fucking horrible. No, he's terrible. Come on.
He is bad.
Satnam Singh, he's bad.
He's not good. He has time, right? Just like Almost does.
Sure.
We'll see.
He's got time.
He's got time. He's got time to learn. All right. I mean, that was the week of wrestling this week, boys. Anything else that stuck out to you? I know, Jersey, you didn't get to watch a lot of AEW stuff, but anything?
I'm assuming the MJF segment was fantastic because I didn't get a chance.
Yeah, let's go MJF.
I mean, we got to talk about on Long Island, excuse me, and like that's just it's his house. So just want to kind of finish with MJF because that's always a good way to finish.
Yeah, I mean that was that Broadway style or whatever he did. I think the jazz number, if you want to call it that.
It's pretty good too, man. He's good.
He's really good. I think he
great voice.
I think he exposed like the players, the musicians that were with him. He kind of was like ahead of them, and they're like that's their job, which is wild. But I mean, essentially, it looks like we're getting the fatal 4-way with the pillars. I know Darby kind of did his own thing that night, but or he did it on Rampage, but it looks like that's what we're gonna eventually get, whether it's at Double or Nothing or whatever the next pay-per-view is. But MJF is on top of his game as always. You know what I mean? Like it's every week. I don't think you see him on your screen and you're disappointed in what he puts out. So that was super entertaining. I mean, I love to see him wrestle. You know, I know he's an attraction, but I love to see him get into have a match on a Dynamite once in a while too. I think that'd be nice.
Is he still a free agent in 2024, or is that's over now?
No, I think that's done. Yeah. I think we gotta
storyline is done for now because he's the champion, but I'm sure he really is a free agent in 2024.
Yeah, no extension that we've heard of, right?
Not that I've heard from the.
Because man, that guy has really parlayed himself into a massive paycheck. I'll tell you that.
Well, if Vincent Kennedy McMahon is running the show, he ain't going to sign nobody.
Well, he's forcing Tony Khan's number to really pay up.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day,
that was nuts.
At the end of the day, if what was I going to say? If Tony Khan lost MJF, boy, oh boy.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, it's like if you don't even know who's in charge of WWE, why would you kind of go there with the freedom you have in AEW? He literally does whatever the fuck he wants and he gets away with it.
Yeah, he's literally spits a kill out of a kid's face and isn't arrested.
Literally,
that was great.
Threw that soda in that poor kid, man.
Yeah, terrible.
Joe said Darby taking that F10 from Cage.
I saw that. Yeah. Dude, he spun twice. He literally did 2 rotations in the air before he hit the stage. That was sick.
He weighs the same as a small child.
I mean,
it's not that difficult
to see it happen. You
would have done the same thing to him too.
Brian Cage. Listen, I love myself, but Brian Cage is a rather strong human being.
I know you're doing curls while you're on the Peloton. You double dip it.
You have to, man.
Colin says WWE would filter MJF too much.
Yeah,
that's my fear
a possibility too. For sure. Yeah.
That's my fear. Is exactly that. Is that he would become his 2.0 potentially if they didn't let him run free.
When you work on major networks that pay you tons of money, it's tough, you know.
I saw a video which is kind of cool. Grayson Waller got asked about the comparisons to him and MJF, and he says he respects what he does, but he doesn't see any like similarities. They're just both like outspoken, and that's really it. And I'm not comparing their styles, but I guess like the closest thing WWE has is to MJF is Grayson Waller,
absolutely.
and I think honestly he's super fucking entertaining. So like if they were, listen, they have the guy already, but like if they brought MJF over, I still think it'd work. It just wouldn't be what we get now in AEW, and I still think he could still like be entertaining. Maybe it's not as much.
MJF is so good that he could. It doesn't matter. He would make anything magical. He's that gifted on the mic.
But would he be able? Like he's 26 years old and he's not wrestling every week. That's like that would never fly.
That wouldn't fly.
Yeah. Like, no. You definitely.
How does
you got to earn that cloud?
Yeah,
that
like
promotion to get that gift.
And this is like a kayfabe question, but not being too marky. But like, how does he get that right to like not wrestle ever? Like,
he doesn't have a John Cena resume.
I know, dude, it's wild, bro.
Yeah, but dude, look at the following. Look at someone like Nick. Nick hates AEW, right? But he loves MJF. No matter what the product is, he loves MJF.
That's fair.
And there's more of that. There's probably millions of those people, out there like that.
But a lot of people don't even know how MJF is a wrestler because you never really see him.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's funny. It's captivating. Look at TikToks. Tom just shared in our group chat. MJF was literally crying at a crying baby. And it got like 10,000 views and 10,000 likes.
The guy is good. There's no question.
He's a bad guy, but he's great at being a bad guy.
If you're in WWE though, you have to wrestle though. I mean, that's
so he'll have to do like one Make-A-Wish a year, and that'll be his quota.
He wouldn't even.
I don't think he'd make a wish. He would fucking make a poor sick kid fucking put the final touches on him, man. It's terrible. Terrible human being.
It'd be tough, man. It would be very tough.
I actually did see like a TikTok or whatever it was of him at like an autograph signing, and this dude just came up and he, and I saw people in the comments flipping his shit, and like we're collectors here in some degree, but like he signed a figure and just threw it on the floor.
Oh, he ripped open the package. Yeah,
he ripped open the package. Like this guy does not give a fuck. Yeah. Like no matter what. And like someone's like, "Can I ask you questions?" Like that's $20.
Yeah.
He laughed it off. He's like, "No, I'm serious. Pay him $20 or you're not talking to me." I was like, "Fuck, dude,
I love it. Love it.
Yeah. What's too far? I don't know. I don't even.
I just still can't believe that no one has physically assaulted him yet, which is amazing.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, like at this point,
now I think you kind of get it. But like there was a stretch there where it's like, you have this father who doesn't know anything about wrestling, who's paid a lot of money to meet this fucking guy, and he's talking to his kid like that. That can get a little dicey.
Although, if you leading up to the Dynamite segment when he came out and got like the key to Long Island or whatever it was, or Oyster Bay, that the actual the ceremony he had during the day was on News 12. It's our local news channel here, and he was like out of character. It wasn't MJF.
Yeah. Weird.
He was like smiling. His mom came over, kissed him on the cheek. Like
he was like a real person.
A real person, which is I think
not the one that's going to smack Jersey Son's bottle out of his hand when he's trying to eat.
Because we're from Long Island, and like we know like that's a legit. Whatever it happened, he got for the town of Oyster Bay, he got labeled April 5th. Labeled MJF Day. It's legit. It's not like a joke.
Pretty damn cool, man. That's
cool. It wasn't just like I just if anyone
next year.
Yeah, if anyone's like watching,
I forgot I wanted to go there because it's pretty close to the job, and I forgot all about it.
For anyone watching that's not from the local, like from Long Island, like that's an actual thing. It actually happened. So it wasn't just like a work on fucking AEW. Man, hell of a week. I think both companies came out and they did their thing. And I think we have a lot to look forward to post WrestleMania. Backlash is coming up in Puerto Rico, which is going to be fun. Bad Bunny got destroyed on Raw. That was interesting.
I can't wait to see him wrestle again, man. Bad Bunny does his thing.
Colin says it should be a national holiday. I think MJF Day within the fandom of wrestling is a national holiday. Everyone wear your scarves on April 5th.
Damn right.
Before we end the show here, episode 150, we do this thing. We assign people MVPs of the week. If you're your first time listener, we just give our favorite wrestler of the week, or top guy of the week. We'll go round table here. Tommy boy, who you got for this week? MVP.
I got two: KO and Sami Zayn, finishing one of the best storylines in recent memory with the Usos at WrestleMania.
All right, respect, man. Nikki Noodles. I think I know where you're going, but just say it.
Do you? I think I'm going to take you for a little surprise here.
Okay.
But I'm going with my man Gunther with one of the best triple threat matches that I've seen in a long time. A powerhouse hitting affair with two monsters. Really solidified himself as a true household name and a future world champion on the horizon.
You'll be in a main event next year. You watch it, WrestleMania.
That's what he says.
So,
He's going to take the streak, Honky Tonk's streak too, as well. NJ3 MVP.
I'm gonna go Logan Paul. Just because like you expect,
I knew you'd come around.
Yeah. What do you mean I come around? I respect that people do a good job. You expected Roman to crush it. You expected Cody to crush it. You expected a lot of these things. You know, Seth Rollins is fantastic, but you know, Seth Rollins is only as good as sometimes his opponent could let him be or what he can bring his opponent on. And I thought Logan Paul held his own in that match. Like I don't want to say he was on the same level as Rollins, but he was he was on some level, and that match was fantastic. It was entertaining. From the zip lining down to the ring to the frog splash spot on KSI on the announce table. Like, that shit was great.
That was pretty awesome.
It was fantastic, dude. The slingshot, lariat that he does, and dude, he's a clean wrestler. He's athletic as hell. He's a great heel. He's embracing the heel, which is what he needs to be every time. I do hope that now he signed his new contract that he does get a win over somebody besides the Miz. Like, I just need to see him get a win.
Yeah.
Whoever that may be, we'll figure that out. But Logan Paul is my MVP this week, man.
And the dude is raw rookie too. You know what I mean? And to be that good is crazy.
Rookie of the year, or when it could be now. If he does a couple more good matches this year, it could be rookie of the year.
I think you have to have like a minimum of like matches wrestled.
Well,
we can give it the WrestleBuzz awards.
Oh, the WrestleBuzz awards. Yeah. We don't have
it's bigger than it's bigger than a Slammy for sure.
Oh yeah, it is definitely bigger than Slammy.
I'm gonna go in a losing effort. I'm gonna go Cody Rhodes, and I'll tell you why. He came back. He overcame adversity, a huge injury, and I think we haven't had a baby face around it. I mean, I guess you could argue Sammy, but like this big in a long time. I think it's going to stick around for a while. He lost at Mania, and then he gets absolutely destroyed by Brock Lesnar. Like, he got manhandled by Brock Lesnar.
It's happened to many. It's happened to many great ones.
I think it earned my respect, and like wanting to see him come out of this another hill and to see him become champion. So I think he'll get there eventually. I think it won't maybe not be as big as Mania, which we a bunch of us wanted to happen. No disrespect to Roman, but I think it's going to be a good run for him in the next few months leading up to SummerSlam probably, or something like that. But I'm going to go with Cody for my MVP.
I can't believe, Joe, I can't believe honestly how big he's made it here in WWE.
Yeah.
I just didn't think it was there. I'm just curious to know if his injury played an impact into the Mania storyline, because I think if he didn't get hurt, he might have won it already, or Mania definitely might have been a more solidified thing. I think once he was out for so long and they built the Roman Empire, literally, I think that kind of hurt him a little bit in that regard. Although his return was amazing, don't get me wrong. I think the injury kind of cost him a little luster, but it also made him that injury in that Hell in a Cell match, because that's when I was all in on at that point.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
I think we'll see something cool happening over the next few months, though, for sure. With Cody, him and Brock's gonna be mad fun too. So,
the beast is back.
Yeah, he's back for sure. All right, boys. Episode 150 in the books. It was fun. I like this YouTube thing. Going live. First time ever. Hopefully,
I like the comments and the remarks in there. It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Colin, Bobby, Chris, Project Kayfabe, Jojo, whoever commented. We appreciate you. We'll be back soon. If you want to listen to us, if you're still here, we have podcasts on the WrestleBuzz Podcast Network, Apple, Spotify, anywhere you download podcasts. We'll be back on here, post review shows after pay-per-views and all that fun stuff. Hopefully getting some more content out soon. But everybody, thanks for joining us, boys. 150 in the books. Hell of a ride. Wouldn't want to do it with anyone else. And as always, everyone, take care. Stay safe. Watch pro wrestling.